What's up, guys? My name is Forrest White, and I might have bought the most hated piece of equipment that John Deere has ever made. This is a John Deere 2010 crawler. It's the loader model, so it's got a bucket on it instead of a blade. As you can see over there is a 450 case over there. That's a dozer. That's probably one of the most sought after dozers. And we have one of the most hated ones right here. I did not know this when I bought this loader, that this is one of the most hated ones, but through the research, what I've gathered is that this is a 1964 machine, and supposedly when these things come in to be worked on, they would come in the front door and the mechanics would run out the back door. They were such a pain. Now, I'm 28 years old. This was built in 1964. It's got plenty of years on me. But it does run. Well, let me back up a little bit. I'm going to tell you about how I got it. This was bought at an auction. The old man that owned it had passed away. From what I understand, he treated it really well. Tried to upkeep the maintenance as much as possible. And he got, as he got older, when we found it, it was in a barn and it was just sitting there. We took a risk on it. We paid $950 plus auction fees for this machine. Now, I knew it was a John Deere, thinking that it was a John Deere older machine. It's got to be great. After doing my research, it's a 2010 crawler. They only built this machine from now you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but from 1960, I don't know, 1 to 65. Wasn't built very long. Parts are super hard to come by, from what I've gathered. So there's a lot of negatives in it, which I look at this machine and I want it to work so badly. I think it could be a huge asset. As you guys can tell, we purchased 43 acres here in West Virginia, and I think that this could be a huge asset to our property. Now, I'm going to go through it, tell you what I've done to it, and what needs to be done. When we got this machine, it would not run, would not start. A guy I know, he does diesel mechanic work a lot. He was able to get it running. Now, it has a terrible miss. It probably needs injectors rebuilt, from what I'm gathering. I'm going to go through all that, and if you guys are interested, we may go through all that on the channel here, on the YouTube channel. The engine will probably need some work, but so to start, put a new starter on it. We cranked and cranked and cranked the heck out of this thing, burned the starter up, had to have the starter rebuilt. 2 new fuel filters are under there. It has new hydraulic filters. This track here is loose. It's going to need tension. The grease zerk does not take grease, so we're going to have to put a new zerk on it. Hydraulics on this machine are phenomenal. It is super strong, super capable. The issue with this machine is the HLR transmission. Now, I took this to a guy and he adjusted the pressures. That didn't fix it. So I'm assuming the clutches are worn. Well, in this particular machine, maybe the other machines are like this, in order to get to them clutches, which are back in this area, the engine has to be pulled. Pull the engine out. I guess that gives you access to the rest of the transmission. I was hoping I could take this top cover off that is in here. All of this is the top cover, but all of the seat will have to come out. All of these linkages will have to come out to pull the top cover off, and maybe you can see the clutches. So here's the next dilemma, and I'll tell you, the HLR transmission, it's pretty cool. It's an early version of a hydrostatic, which means you can go forward and reverse on the fly, though you don't have to push a clutch in. But this thing is weak, super weak. It will go in every gear, no problem. But let's say you go to an incline, start up a hill, or you want to, get a bucket full of dirt, the machine just stops, which we take it as the clutches are slipping. They're so wore out, they're slipping. Well, the problem becomes finding clutches for this machine. So I don't know if you could weld a bead on the existing clutches. Maybe that will, I'm not sure. I'd have to do some more research, but there isn't much content on this machine on YouTube. I guess because it's not very sought after. Everybody runs the opposite direction from this machine, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go through this machine, try to bring it up to a decent standard and run it. And give it, you know, give it a second chance. When we got the machine, it come with all the manuals to it. The guy had, the guy really tried his best to keep it going. He used it to clear his entire property. And I want to use it here on my farm. So this is just a quick rundown of the John Deere 2010 crawler. Now, John Deere also made a tractor, 2010 tractor. From what I have gathered through research, it uses the same engine. And it also uses the same engine as a John Deere 45 combine. But as far as the HLR stuff, see, my plan was, the tractor seems to be more common. So I was going to maybe purchase a parts John Deere 2010 tractor, use those parts for this machine. But the tractor doesn't use the HLR transmission, so can't do that. Because the tractor seems to be at least a little more common. So I got to figure out what to do, how to go about it next. This track over here is great. It's tight, good. They are wore down. But for a farm use piece of equipment, you know, I think it would do really good. But anyway, do you guys, anybody have any experience with the John Deere 2010 crawler? Anything you might be able to recommend? Any place to find parts? And yeah, I'll be making more videos on this thing. We'll try to get it back to, you know, somewhat decent shape. Like I said, it does run. I can go get a small bucket load of dirt and it will move. But when it faces resistance, this machine just decides to not work anymore. And I do have a clip of me running the machine that I'll show here. And, you know, you guys can throw some ideas my way. I'll tell you another thing. This machine will fly. So it has the HLR, which is here. On later models, I know the 450s, they put it up to here, where there was a lever here. This machine, it's down here. But then it does have a clutch down in here. And over here, it has a gear selector. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. And I've actually put it in 7/8 going downhill, and this thing it'll roll a lot faster than what I thought it would go. So, hey guys, I want to bring it back to life, and yeah, so you guys can follow along, and maybe you guys can teach me something. Maybe you guys can learn something about this machine. All right, guys, have a good day.